So, Bhutan, land of surprises. I think I met my first fantastic beast on the aeroplane there. But now we arrive and are greeted at Paro airport by a lovely picture of the 5 kings of Bhutan. And in the middle, the 5th king smiling at us to welcome us to the kingdom. As the monks wave us goodbye, let's set off on our search for fantastic beasts in the kingdom of Bhutan. But I'm just going to stop for a coffee at a little coffee shop about 20 minutes away to recover from the flight. So after the flight into Paro, it's rather nice just to stop for a cup of coffee in this lovely coffee shop. This is a very old Bhutanese house, traditional house with mud walls. And inside on the first floor, there is a temple. And tradition has it that if you had leprosy, you would come here and pray to the god in this temple and you would be cured. Well, fortunately, Bhutan today has no leprosy at all, but we do have here a rather nice cafe. Let's go in and have a chat. Hello. 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 Wow, we've got a new baby here. How old is the baby?
She's 13 days.
13 days. Wow. Well, she's looking very active. Well,
Yeah.
good luck to little baby.
Thank you so much.
And one tradition in Bhutan, when you meet a new baby, you just leave a little something
Thank you so
for the new baby. So join me in a nice cappuccino here in your cafe, which, as you've seen, is created from a very old Bhutanese house. And it really is rather nice to stop on the way from the airport, and it allows me to tell you what we're doing. Well, I'm in Bhutan to search for fantastic beasts. And we're going to go across Bhutan looking for whatever fantastic beast we can find. And there's one particular fantastic beast I want to find, which is going to be a surprise to you. And so I'm not going to tell you what it is until we find it. But why have I come to Bhutan? Bhutan's a unique country, and there are 4 or 5 reasons why it's unique. Let me explain. First of all, Bhutan is one of the very few countries in the world which was never occupied by a foreign power. And this means the Bhutanese culture is still unalloyed by external influences. The Bhutanese culture is very old, and since we've never been occupied by a foreign power, it's remained almost virgin. Secondly, Bhutan's environment is famous. And Bhutan is the only country in the world which has an environmental clause in its constitution, which says that forest cover in Bhutan must be maintained at not less than 70%. Number 3, Bhutan is the only carbon negative country in the world. When you see, as we travel across Bhutan, all the forests, all the greenery, it's not surprising we're carbon negative. And today that's very important. And fourthly, Bhutan is the world's last remaining Mahayana Buddhist country. And the religion of Bhutan is responsible for one of the things I want to mention to you. Bhutan isn't a place where you just come to look at things. It's not a place where you just come to take photographs. Bhutan is a country where you come not just to see, but to feel. Because the gem of Bhutan, the diamond of Bhutan, is the fact that there's an atmosphere here which is very difficult to define and which is, I think, unique in the world. You come to Bhutan to feel the atmosphere. The Mahayana Buddhist religion is one element which makes for the atmosphere. The fact there have never been foreign intruders is another element that makes for the atmosphere. But remember, Bhutan is a place to come in order to feel and experience, not just to look and take photographs. And one of the atmospheres and feelings and experiences is indeed to look at all the various fantastic beasts that you find in Bhutan. And we'll go on into Thimphu and we'll look at one real fantastic beast, but some of the fantastic beasts are legendary, some are mythical, and Bhutan is almost a magical place because legend, myth and mystery, fables, folk tales, folk stories told around the wood fire in a little village house by grandparents to their grandchildren, that's all part of the atmosphere of Bhutan. So, we're going to go, first of all, to Thimphu, and we'll meet Dr. Kama Phuntsho, a graduate of the University of Cambridge, who will just tell us a little bit about one or two fantastic beasts. Dr. Kama. Hello. I wonder if you can help us. I'm searching for fantastic beasts in the kingdom of Bhutan. And Dr. Kama, I think with your background as a Buddhist scholar and a member of Cambridge University in the UK, I'm hoping you can help me learn a bit about fantastic beasts here in Bhutan. Can you help?
Fantastic beast. I suppose we can start it right from here. Welcome to Dzongkhag. This temple, built in the 13th century, belongs to the tradition called the Drukair school, the dragon school I call in short. And the founder of this temple was the son of the person who brought the dragon school to Bhutan. And the dragon school started up north from here in Tibet. And when it started, the founder of the Drukair, the dragon school, is supposed to be approached the place. He was a very famous meditation master of his time. He had thousands and thousands of disciples. In fact, the claim was that his influence has spread as far as a vulture can fly in 18 days. When he approached the place where he started his first center, he saw 9 dragons perched on that spot. And as he approached this spot, the dragons soared to the sky with a big thunder. And he predicted that his tradition, the dragon school, is going to be as famous, as great as the thunder. So another fantastic beast and a real legendary beast that exists in Bhutan is the Takin. It's the national animal of Bhutan. The Takin is said to have been created by this famous saint, Drukair, the divine madman who came to Bhutan in the 15th century and traveled across Bhutan. And at one point he was challenged by a local leader and a community to throw a big feast from animal flesh. And he's said to have brought so many animals together and given this feast. And at the end of the feast, as a miracle, he would go into meditation, put together the parts of the animals, the cow's body, the goat's head, and the sheep's ear, and so forth, and with a snap of a finger is said to have created a new animal that is the Takin today.
So one very important element which contributes to the special atmosphere of Bhutan is the respect for life. This obviously comes from the Buddhist religion of the country, but the respect for life is palpable. And you will know that Bhutan is the world's last Mahayana Buddhist kingdom. So the religion permeates throughout the whole of the atmosphere of the country. And this respect for life extends for everything from a flea through a tiger to a dog. And it was nice to think that this dog is Dawa. And if you want to know who Dawa is, a very eminent Bhutanese author called Kunzang Choden has written a rather lovely book called Dawa, the Story of a Stray Dog in Bhutan. And the lovely thing is it doesn't anthropomorphize the dog. It actually is written from inside the mind of the dog.
Lasso, Kususangpo. I'm very happy today. I'm very honored to be talking about my favorite character in of all the books that I've written. My favorite character is Dawa. And Dawa is kind of a magical, kind of a fantastic animal who has somehow forms a link between the humans and the animal world. He understands both the human world and the animal world, and he travels and he has his adventures, which includes also Dawa going to Bumthang and meditating in a cave where a famous female Tibetan Buddhist master actually cured herself from leprosy, and he cures himself by sitting in meditation in that cave. And eventually he comes back to Thimphu and he retires here. And maybe Dawa is not here, but in spirit, Dawa is here sitting, and maybe this dog feels the spirit of Dawa, because that's exactly what Dawa does, sitting on the edge, looking at Thimphu changing. He does transcending everything in life, and he looks at Thimphu growing and changing, but without judgment, accepting everything, feeling a link to every dog noise he hears, saying, maybe that's somebody I know, maybe that's somebody who's related to me, maybe it's one of my children. You know, he has such an expansive, compassionate view of the human world of Thimphu and the dogs that live among the people of Thimphu. Maybe the spirit of Dawa has also come into everyone here.
So in my search for fantastic beasts, I'm now traveling to the north of Bhutan to a district called Gasa. And in case you want to look that up on the internet, it's spelled G-A-S-A. If you look up Gaza with a Z, you'll end up in the Middle East, which is not where I am. So I'm on the way to Gasa, and on the way I'm passing this most important building in Bhutan, which is Punakha Dzong. And for many years, until the mid-50s, this Dzong, just the building, was the capital of Bhutan. In spring, outside there are the most beautiful jacaranda trees, and the view with the purple of the jacaranda flower and the carpet of purple on the grass is absolutely brilliant. So on our way north up to Gasa, we are coming up the very lovely and fertile Punakha Valley. The Punakha River down below, the Puna Tsangchu, and we've come from down there. So we've come up here and we've passed on the right. You can see the little temple on the hill, Kamsum Yule Namgyel Choten, a lovely temple, well worth visiting, rather like a Chinese pagoda. And it was built by the king's mother for the long life of the king. And with the royal connection still, if we come down here, you can see the building with the long roof, and that was a royal palace of the second king. Now not used and quite deserted, but it shows that the kings of Bhutan have lived very simple lives in keeping with the whole atmosphere of Bhutan. So there's nothing grandiose or showy about it for a royal palace. And now we're going to continue north up there towards Gasa. I think the time has come for a quick cup of coffee in this little cafe here. When we stop for our cup of coffee, we don't just get a cup of coffee, we get some lovely, fantastic beasts that have actually come to join us on the stone coffee table here. We've been joined by a lovely green-winged object, which I think is a cicada, and then come to join us is this rather horrible companion, a stag beetle, which really does look quite unpleasant. It's got sort of thorns sticking out of its legs all over, and then this tiny chappie here, which is a patent leather beetle. I think it's a passerless beetle, and the biodiversity of Bhutan is one of the unique features of the kingdom. Bhutan's biodiversity is brilliant. It is one of the world's top biodiversity spots. I believe it's called a biodiversity hotspot, internationally recognized. And so to join us in our cup of coffee, we've got examples of Bhutan's biodiversity here. Not the final fantastic beast we're looking for, but they're pretty fantastic anyway. Well, we've arrived in Gasa after a wonderful car journey through great, spectacular mountain scenery. And I'm having my breakfast outside the guest house here in Gasa, and we're going to go up to the Dzongda, the great castle, to see what we can find in the way of yet more fantastic beasts. And perhaps we might find the special fantastic beast that I'm looking for. So here I am in the little town of Gasa, and I wonder if there's anybody in the shops here who can help me find the fantastic beast that I'm looking for. Kuzambo, hello. Do you know anywhere where I can find fantastic beasts in Gasa?
No.
Do you know where I can find a fantastic beast in Gasa?
Fantastic, pardon?
Well, here's a place that looks as though it might be good. This is the Ha Ha General Shop with 3 happy smiley faces. Let's see if they know anything about fantastic beasts. Kusuzambo. Now, I want a packet of biscuits. Do you have any biscuits?
Yes.
Oh, let me have a little look. Peanut, perfect. Now, how much is that?
Newton 70.
70 nultrums. Now, I wonder, what I'm looking for are some fantastic beasts in Gasa. Do you know of any fantastic beasts in Gasa?
Yeah. It is. We have to move around 5 miles from here.
5 miles,
down
right?
To us, and the name of the village is Money.
Money.
Yeah.
And I'll find fantastic beasts.
Yeah, and
Brilliant.
you can look for the owner. His name is Master Chador.
Right, thank you so much. Right, now I've just come for a little walk outside Gasa town, and I've come to a farmhouse and it's started to rain. But do you know one very funny thing about Bhutan? Rain doesn't make you wet. And there's a scientific background to that. Because we're at a very high altitude, the air pressure is less, and so water evaporates much more quickly. So when it rains, never worry. Now I've come to a farmhouse. Hello. What's your name?
Damchupem. My name is Damchupem.
Damchupem. Hello. And you live here? Oh, good. And is this your introduce me to your family? Is this your cousin? Hello. Say hello. I'm just visiting Gasa, and I'm looking for fantastic beasts. And is this your father? Guzazambo, how nice to see you. No, now. Chado. Hello, Chado. I'm looking for fantastic beasts here in Gasa. Can you help me?
Sure, sir.
That's kind, yes. Now, I wonder what sort of fantastic beast. We've got one there, which is your lovely cow. What's your name? Tandin. Oh, very good. Very
It
nice.
is raining. Please come in the farmhouse.
Oh, that's very kind. It's beginning to rain a bit heavily, isn't it? That's very kind of you. Thank you. So, I'm about to enjoy something which is very, very Bhutanese, and that is Bhutanese hospitality. And it is so warm, so unforced, so natural. Sometimes it can be so enormous that, you know, after a few glasses of arrow, one finds it difficult to walk out of the house. But I think we're going to sample some nice, simple Bhutanese hospitality. Bhutanese love meeting visitors. And that's one of the things which gives a very special atmosphere to this country. As a visitor, you are genuinely welcomed. Thank you for welcoming me to your house out of the rain. And my goodness, good Lord.
Hello, it's very fantastic. We'll see this film this evening with my
You're
whole
watching
family.
this film this evening?
Yes, sir.
Here in the house?
Yes. With
In
all my-
Gasa?
Yes.
My goodness.
With my
So
whole family and my relatives.
wonderful. Well, here we are. We've found our fantastic beast. We've found the one we were looking for, which is the Warner Brothers film Fantastic Beasts 3. And where have we found it? Not in the capital city. We've found it here in the remote town of Gasa, way up in the mountains. So you're going to show your family this film tonight?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Wonderful. Well, you know, Bhutan was one of the very last countries in the world which introduced television. Television only came to Bhutan quite a short time ago. So in this remote town of Gasa, it's not surprising to find that in order to watch Fantastic Beasts 3, the family is having to assemble a television to do it. We read so much about television being a bad influence. Has it been a bad influence or a good influence in Bhutan? Well, to answer that question, come and find out for yourselves. Well, thank you, family, for letting me watch Fantastic Beasts 3 here in Gasa. So many of the scenes there you may recognize as resembling Gasa. And I hope some people will come from foreign countries to see the place where this part of Fantastic Beasts 3 was set. And thank you for your hospitality. And I should add that if you visit Bhutan and wanted to stay here with this family, get to know the family, then if you come to Gasa, you can actually stay here with you, I think, Mr. Chador. So this is a small homestay, so you can really get to know real Bhutan, not the Bhutan of big hotels, but the Bhutan of friends and family. So bye-bye, bye-bye, Lokjege. You know, in Dzongkhag, there's no word for goodbye. So when you're leaving, you say Lokjege, which means see you again. See you again. So Bhutan is different. As I said earlier, it's not a place just to come and look and take photographs. It's a place to feel. It's a place to sense the special atmosphere, the attitude to life, the way of life. The beautiful scenery, of course, is a big bonus, but it's not just a place of beautiful scenery. It's not just a place of castles and temples. It's a place with a way of life and an attitude to life which is unusual in this modern world of rush and panic. It's a very tranquil place. It's an ideal place to sit and think. And we set out to look for fantastic beasts. Fantastic beasts can be legendary, they can be mythical, they can even sometimes be real. But sometimes fantastic beasts are to be found inside our own head. So Why not come to Bhutan and search for your own fantastic beasts?